Hey, coaches, Karen Paddock, and welcome back to our part two of building business systems. Today, we're going to talk about the day-to-day task management. So this is more of a granular part of this training versus what we did last week, which was the 30,000 foot view, right? So we have to have a big picture for our business, and then on a day-to-day basis, we have to come in, zoom in closer, and then figure out maybe what those quarterly and weekly and daily tasks actually look like. So I'm going to just double check that we are broadcasting as I always do, and that Facebook hasn't done something super weird like it often does. If you all do live streaming, you know that Facebook can throw you for a loop, and there's different APIs, and certain software doesn't connect with other software. So we're going to just make sure. Yes. Okay, great. We are live. Okay, great. So I'm going to just dive right in. So I posted in our group a question, and I asked you to share with me like where you're really struggling with all of this. Like, where are you struggling to get things done consistently in your business? And here's what some of the coaches said. Wearing so many different hats with too many things to do but not enough time. Creating regular social media content consumes much of my time. We talked about that one last week. Staying on track with my top goals and priorities I've set for the day. Not having a grip on how much time things actually take. We're going to talk about that today. Not leaving margin for other things that come up or need to be done. Another coach said sometimes nowhere to start, then being consistent. Another coach said, shiny object syndrome distracting me from what I really need to be doing. I tend to work from inspiration, but that can take me off on a rabbit trail of fun and creativity, and I forget about the more mundane things in my business. And then lastly, one of the coaches said, struggling with prioritizing where to start, starting on one thing and then go to another because that needs to be done first. Daily life distractions. So today I promised you to share, I would share the process that I use 4 times a year that guarantees that I have consistent revenue coming in. Okay, because number one, bar none, we talked about this last week, revenue is the top driver in your business for everything, meaning what you do on a quarterly basis, what you do on a monthly basis, what you do on a weekly basis, all stems off of your quarterly goals, right? And so the process that I use 4 times a year, we're going to talk about that to make sure that I'm bringing in consistent revenue gets broken down into a quarterly goal. And I also promise the once per week ritual I use to stay on track with my goals. So the once a week, I'll say that one more time, once per week ritual I use to stay on track with my goals. And then lastly, I just want to make sure that we wrap this up with why it's important to use both of these processes that I'm going to share with you to create a rock solid business that feels easy to manage. Okay, so let's back it up and let's just talk about some of the things that the coaches said that I really want to make a point about, and then I'm going to tie in my process. So staying on track with my top goals and priorities that I've set for the day. Someone else with not leaving enough margin for things to come up. Those things happen to all of us. We're always having, if we plan our day perfectly, this minute to this hour to this block of time, inevitably something is going to come up. Someone's going to ask you to approve something. A client's going to reach out. Your child is going to need you. Something is going to happen. So it is key that we leave some margin in our day when we're planning out our tasks. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about that someone said, hang on one second. So someone said that they work from inspiration. So if you're working from inspiration, if you're waiting for inspiration to hit you for any given task in your business, then you're not really running a business because let's face it, Nike, Coca-Cola, Apple, all the way up to, recently I shared my mentor, James Wedmore's program. All of these people, they're not waiting around for inspiration to strike or for them to feel like they're in the mood to work. If you truly have a business, then you are going to set boundaries and you are going to have certain rituals and processes and systems in place, which is what we're talking about today. And you're not going to wait until inspiration strikes you. Okay. And then the last one that I wanted to share is wearing so many different hats. So now we talked about this last week. We have to be strategic. We have to start thinking like business owners when we are figuring out our tasks or what our goals are. I really want to move away from the word task, because if you're thinking in a task by task by task um, mindset or a to-do list mindset, then you are what we've called a glorified employee in your business. Now, that comes from my mentor, James Wedmore, and that was me for a very long time. And I'll be honest, there's still a little piece of me that's in that space, still a little bit, but I'm getting better. And over time, I am releasing things and I'm staying more focused on my overall goals. So if I can help you get situated with your day-to-day task management, your systems, your processes, which is why I'm doing this live training. If I can do that for you, then guess what? We're going to have a situation where you become more productive. You are spending more of your time on the things in your business that only you can do, like coaching clients, creating new content, showing up for video, right? Only you can do that. And so it's really important for you to identify the things that you can give to someone else or completely take off your plate because they're not important versus what is it that you really need to be doing. So we're going to come back to this as the number one thing I promised you is the process I use 4 times per year to guarantee I have consistent revenue. Every single quarter, I have at least one major revenue driver in my business, meaning one major launch of my own, an affiliate launch, an affiliate promotion, a flash sale, something that I'm doing at least once per quarter. There's always going to be a big one in each quarter, and then there might be something small in that quarter as well, but for sure we're doing one big push each quarter. You should be doing that exact same thing. One big push each quarter. Now, for coaches that are new, that might be suddenly you are doing a whole campaign around, you have spots open on your calendar for discovery calls or strategy calls or success sessions, whatever you call them, and you are inviting people in. What's different is you're going to build a campaign around it. Maybe you start by you put a new freebie out there and you start getting some traction and some momentum with that, and you're doing live stream about it, and you're talking about it, and you're posting about it, and you're emailing your people about it, and you're doing all the things to build excitement around this one particular freebie, which then leads into, guess what? I am launching a boot camp. I have a challenge. I have spots open on my calendar for my one-on-one program. Whatever it is that you're going to promote, you build a campaign around it. And you can do this in many different ways. But you absolutely need one major revenue driver in your business each quarter. Okay? So from there, that big revenue driver gets boiled down or broken down into weekly tasks, weekly milestones, actually is a better word for it. Weekly milestones. What do you need to have done, 10 weeks out, 9 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, until the week that you start promoting? What needs to happen in all of those weeks? We've done many podcast episodes on the Wellness Business Podcast, particularly a 2-part episode on beta launching your program. So if you go into your podcast app or you go to the wellnessbusinesspodcast.com, and in the search bar, you type beta launch. You're going to get the 2 episodes, they were back to back, that talks about launching a program. And in this case, it's a beta launch. You can use the same process if you're launching anything. Even if it's for the 10th time, you can use something else, okay, in that place. But it gives you a reference for how to go about the actual campaign building, the launch process, what should happen when. That is an excellent 2-part series that we did that will be very beneficial to you. So when you're thinking about the week to week goals and milestones that you need to be reaching, that is, of course, where you're going to identify, hey, I'm going to need help with this, or I want to set my program up in Kajabi and I don't know how. So I just had a gal today in my Business by Design bonus experience group post that she plans on putting her program inside of Kajabi. And while she wants to hire a VA to help her do that, she thinks she needs to get in there and kind of get the lay of the land and figure it out first so she knows how all the nuts and bolts are moving in there so that when she passes it off, I guess, so she can be knowledgeable. But here's the thing you need to remember. When you're passing it off onto someone, if you're hiring someone, let's say just for a project, this one project, and it is all about, let's just use this as an example, putting your program into Kajabi. Okay, great. Well, that person should have Kajabi experience. You're not going to give it to someone that doesn't have Kajabi experience. So they're going to be able to get it done way faster. They're going to do a better job. They're probably going to connect the dots way better than you ever would. And that saves you time. So you're not spending weeks, more than likely, figuring out how to do all these things. I am 100% a DIY gal. I love figuring things out. I love doing myself. I love figuring out the nuts and bolts. So I can so relate to my BBD student 100%. And I've done it for years. And guess what? Now on the other side of that, I recognize how much it slowed me down. Listen, many of you say, I can't afford to hire a VA. And I come at you with a different perspective. You can't afford not to in some cases. I'm not asking you to spend hundreds of dollars each week. I'm saying on a project by project basis, if you have something like this that you could just pass off to somebody else that's knowledgeable, and you even say to them ahead of time, this is what I want you to do. This is what my program looks like. Give me a quote so that you already know in advance how much it's going to cost. And when you are armed with that information, guess what? You can make a really good business decision, like the CEO of your business that you should be. Here's the flip side. How much time does that free up for you to spend coaching clients, making money, offering a challenge or a boot camp or more spots on your calendar, right? That's the idea. The trade-off is you're doing something else that's generating revenue, right? You're generating revenue. Okay, so when you're taking your quarterly goal, right? You're taking that quarterly revenue driver. This is how to build business systems, guys. This is what it takes to be a business owner. If you're not thinking about your revenue drivers, you're not really being in business, right? You're not really in business because guess what? Revenue is the ultimate goal for your business. And it isn't going to happen organically. And it isn't going to happen just because you posted 15 times on social last week. It's not going to happen that way. Just doesn't work that way. You have to be intentional. I'm teaching you how to be intentional. So you're identifying your revenue drivers, one each quarter. You are then breaking that down on a, let's say, a week by week milestone list. And whether that's you accomplishing those things or someone else accomplishing those things, you have an outline or a blueprint in which to work from. And then the last thing is why these are both so important. It keeps you focused. Now, if I go back to some of the comments that the coaches made, struggling with prioritizing where to start, starting on one thing, then going to another because that needs to be done first. If you say to yourself every single morning or once a week or whatever you have available to work on your business, if the first question you ask yourself is, what do I need to do today to support my revenue driver for this quarter, there will be no more confusion on what's first or that, oh, should I be posting on social or should I be writing these sales emails? Guaranteed sales emails every single time. If you only have an hour, what are you going to spend it on? Writing sales emails. Social will work itself out. It'll work itself out, right? We like saying social, particularly social media, is one of the tasks on our list. We have to. Well, there are a lot of very successful businesses out there that have small followings on social media. Why? Because they're doing other things that are more supportive of their revenue goals. Things like growing their email list. That's an asset you own. That is yours. It is so important to grow an email list so that you can email them anytime. You can build relationship with them. You can support their needs. And yes, social will be used to grow that list, but not really the passive, I'm posting day to day. That's not really going to grow your list significantly. Things like live streaming, things like paid ads, things like campaigns around a boot camp or a challenge or something like that that gets people excited. And so then you get an influx of email subscribers. So I just had one of my workshop clients, she has one of my done for you wellness workshops, and she just promoted a workshop, and her email list for one workshop grew by 1,200 subscribers. She went from like 1,200, I'm sorry, from like 70 subscribers to 1,270 subscribers just because of one workshop. But it was a campaign around an event. So workshops are also a great way to grow your list. So nowhere in here am I saying post 5 days a week on social. I'm not saying those things. There is a hierarchy of where you should be spending your time. And if you start your day every day saying, what do I need to do today to support my revenue driver? That answer of what you should be spending your time on is going to be crystal clear. Now, if you guys have questions, go ahead and post. I know Marcia says, what does Kajabi cost per month? So Kajabi, my kitty just tore out of here. Kajabi is, I believe, so I think the basic level is $149 a month. But here's what happens. You get that you can create sales pages, you can create landing pages, you can store your program, it can be your email management system. It has multiple, it's multi-purpose. And I'm not saying go out and spend that money. I'm saying that if you're looking for something that it's all in one, it might be a great option for you. So $149 a month for a brand new business, I don't recommend that. I think that there are ways you can piece things together way less expensive, way less expensive. But, the coach that I mentioned, she's in a different place in her business. So now she's ready to be more formal. So I'll use Kathleen and I as an example. When we had the Wellness Business Insiders Club, we had our membership right on our website. It was part of our website. Our members got, used their email and a password to log in, and then they got access to all that information. Well, then when we actually revised that membership program into a course called the Wellness Business Accelerator, we made the decision to move it into Kajabi because it allowed us to be more formal with this course and this program. Bailey girl, stay down. with this course and this program. So you have to think too, guys, like be smart about where you're spending your money. Be the CEO or the business owner of your business. Think like a business owner. That's why I spend the time to do these trainings, because I don't think there's a lot of people out there giving you this information. And I want you to be armed with great strategy for the behind the scenes stuff in your business. You are the face of your business. You are the person that is going to be who people get to know, who people are contracting to work with, right? You are the face, the brand, and the deliverer of information. So if that's the case, that's where you need to be spending your time. So let's see here. I want to go back to these. I'm going to wait and see if you guys have any comments or questions. I'm going to go back to these comments one more time. So if you feel like you're wearing too many hats, then actually take the time to figure out what hats you can remove. Either give up on some things, maybe temporarily, maybe permanently, but say, this is not supporting my overall revenue goal, so I'm not going to do this anymore. Or you say, I wonder if I could hire a virtual assistant that can help me with this, and maybe that person works for me for 2 hours each week. Guys, if you haven't yet grabbed my outsourcing guide, where I walk you through step by step on how to hire someone, how to make sure it's a win-win relationship, go to KarenPattock.com/outsource. Outsource or outsource guide? Hold on. Let me double check that. Let me double check. So I'm giving you the right information. Yeah, it's outsource guide. Outsource guide. So I want you to grab that so that you can start thinking again strategically, like the business owner that you are. If you want to be in business, be intentional about it. If you have 5 hours a week to spend on your business, be intentional with those 5 hours, right? Don't use them scrolling through social media. Maybe you create 2 posts a week for Facebook and Instagram, and that's it. And that's good enough. Or maybe you hire somebody to do that for you and they spend 30 minutes a week working on it and you pay them 2 hours a month. Whatever it is, be strategic. Come in this group, ask questions, get my feedback. Let me help you systematize your business. Okay? So, wearing too many hats. That's my answer to that. Staying on track with my top goals and priorities that I've set for the day. Well, it doesn't matter if it's set for the day, the month, or the quarter. And I never recommend going beyond a quarter. You may know kind of like what your revenue driver is going to be that quarter, but you're not working on it yet. Okay. But staying on track to your daily goals. As far as someone said, like they always get thrown off track or they never leave enough margin, they don't know how much time things are going to take. That I will say is a common problem. And it just really honestly kind of balances itself out. You'll learn over time because some things, if you build in systems, will go faster. So that's great. You'll learn over time how much things take. And beyond that, you'll be able to start calculating like, oh, I should probably leave like a 30-minute gap, like between this this goal and maybe this client call, or an hour gap, because I know like this could go over. But there is the case that I want to argue that good enough is good enough. Like, stop trying to do A plus 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 work. Like, give it up. This whole I've got to have everything perfect is only in your eyes, because what you think is perfect, I might not think is perfect. Or I might see something and think, oh, why'd she use that graphic? Like, could have picked a better graphic than that. So stop with the perfection thing, right? Good enough is good enough. And what is that? One gal I follow, she always says, done, I think she said, done is better than Oh, I'm not going to get it right, but you get the idea. Like getting it done and checked off and off your list is better than just harping on it and like you can never pull the trigger on it. Like let some stuff go. Do your social media posts need to be mind blowing and like you're curing cancer and no, you just need to show up. That's the only thing that does is keeps putting your face in front of somebody and gives you the opportunity to let them know what you can do for them. Beyond that, nothing you're going to say on social is going to turn that person all the way around in and of itself into a paying client. There's going to have to be something else, a workshop, a challenge, a boot camp, a live stream video series, email sequence. There has to be something. No one is going to decide to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars with you just because of what you post on social. So stop putting the weight of the world on those social posts. You pick maybe you pick a quote. Okay, you whip that up in Canva, 5 minutes, done. Canva has like umpteen different quote templates. Use one, change the color, download it, boom, write a couple paragraphs, there you go. Like literally in 15 minutes, you can have all your social done, right? So if every morning you wake up and say, as you're planning your day, what is the thing I can do today that will support my revenue goal for this quarter? It all should become clear. Let me know if that makes sense. Laura's here. Hi, Laura. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. So guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. If you're watching this on the replay and you have questions, tag me. Please tag me and ask away. I'll be watching this video for the next few days and looking for comments. If you haven't yet grabbed my outsource guide, please do so. KarenPattock.com/outsource guide. And that will help you get an idea of how to find someone, how to make sure that you're giving them the right information so that they can be successful. And if they're successful, that means you're successful. We want this to be a win-win. And I want you to just take a step back and really think about how much time you're spending focused on the things that are not driving revenue or getting clients, which is really revenue, or building your email list, which is really revenue. How much time you're not spending on things that are revenue drivers in your business. Now, I'm sorry, we all have to. There's bills to be paid, there's admin things we have to do, but most of our time, 75% of our time should be on the revenue driving milestone goals, right? So Marcia says, do you think the outsource would be easier right now when just starting out before Kajabi? Do you think the outsource would be easier? So are you asking me if I think you should outsource now before starting Kajabi? Listen, here's the coolest thing about working with a virtual assistant. A lot of them you can start small, and then over time you can start giving them more and more and more. So I think last week I shared with you guys that in the last month I've hired 2 new virtual assistants. I have one that is really supporting my integrator, so I can keep giving projects to my integrator, Isabel, and then Isabel is deciding who's doing what I need to do, what Catherine, the VA, needs to do, what she's going to do. She's managing that project. This is a brand new situation for me. I've worked really hard to get to that point, both mentally and from a business owner standpoint. Like it's been hard for me to give up a lot of this. And then I also hired someone to help me with my social media. So I'm still working closely with her. Her name is Tamta. So I started with both of these ladies when I interviewed them, Catherine and Tamta, and I said, here's where I would like to start our relationship. And then I feel pretty quickly within the next 3 to 6 months, I feel like as long as everything's working, I'm a good fit for you, you're a good fit for me. I feel like we're going to be able to start delegating more. So you're actually going to have the opportunity to make more money, work more hours. Is that a good fit for you? Is that something that you want? If this feels like a good relationship, do you want more work from me? Because that was really a key criteria of me hiring someone, is that they're going to have enough bandwidth and time in their schedule once I start training them on my systems and processes, and we're building out more systems and processes, that okay, they're going to have room for me, right? I'm going to have room to grow with them. And both of them said yes. And so already we can see, like, oh, there's more things that I want them to be involved in. And so far, so good. So far, it has been a great experience in both cases. And, we're just taking it slow, but that's the whole thing. Start with someone on a simple project. Like, Marcia, I would not hire, like, first hire, like, you're just brand new at this. You haven't even, signed up for Kajabi yet. That's a huge investment. If you're ready to make it, great. But if this is your very first virtual assistant, you might want to take a step back and say, maybe I'll hire a VA to create some social media graphics for me. Or maybe I'll hire a VA to create an ebook for me, some type of PDF download. Maybe I'll do something simple to get my feet wet as a business owner in how this relationship works with outsourcing. And then once you start feeling like, yeah, I got this, then I would come and say, um, then I would start looking for someone. So actually, if you get to that point, Marcia, where you are investing in Kajabi, or you're ready to invest in Kajabi, reach out to me first. I can get you a coupon code. I have an affiliate coupon code, which will get you your first month free. So that's pretty amazing, right? And then also, I'll see if I can find a resource, or if my integrator Isabel has a resource of someone that already knows Kajabi, that, okay, we kind of all have relationships with, like, right? So a couple degrees of separation, but so that you're not going at this blind. Okay, so I think that's it. You are welcome. I can see you said thank you. You're very welcome. I'm going to wrap up now, guys. I am at the top of the hour. Kathleen and I are recording 4 new podcast episodes. And the first one we're recording is actually very exciting. So it's one of our students. Her name is Christina, and she's going to be sharing how much her business has changed in the last 18 months, how working with Kathleen and I impacted her business, and what she's doing now because of COVID. She had to completely pivot her business, and it's pretty exciting. So I'll be excited to hear what you think of it when that episode comes out. But yep, 4 podcast episodes, and then this afternoon I'll be in my BBD group doing our weekly live Q&A. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, please tag me with questions. Let me know. Click the like button, click the love button. Let me know that you enjoyed this and that you feel like you're ready to build some systems in your business. All right, guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.